Once you have enabled all of these 5 settings in your Moodle server, it's time to deploy the bot. The first step is to head to the Microsoft Application Registration portal to create a new bot application for yourself. You can choose to log in with any ID, Office 365 or MSA ID you'd like. And once you're signed in, you will be seeing a landing page wherein you would have to register your application. In this case, I will simply write Moodle bot and click create. After clicking on create, I simply get my application ID, which is out here, and I know this string. I copy it, I come back here and I paste this right here. Then we go back and we click on generate new password. This is a unique password that is generated for our application. We copy this out here, said okay, and we click here and we hit paste. Once we do that, we have our application registered and we hit save changes, which saves everything up. Once the changes have been saved, we go back to team settings and we scroll down and click on the deploy to Azure button. What the deploy to Azure button does is that it automatically provisions the Moodle Assistant bot in your Azure subscription with all the settings and the code for you without having you undergo through that process manually. So you might be prompted to enter your username and password before accessing the portal. Once you successfully log in, you shall see the screen. Here you can enter firstly your subscription that is associated with the Azure account that you want to provision the bot in, and you can also create a new resource group which will be having all the different resources for the bot inside one single place. So let's call that Moodle bot test, and we can provision this in the West US region. Then the Lewis pricing tier, there are 2 different options. One is F0 and the other one is S0. The F0 is the free tier and the S0 is the standard tier. You can find more details on the Azure website. What Lewis does is that it is the language understanding model that is the interface between what the user types into the bot and the code that's processed by the bot. And we can keep this as the same region. Now for the bot application ID, we go back to our portal and copy the application ID and paste it here. And we do the same for the password. Then for the rest of the details, we go back to the setup page. And we find the Moodle URL, the Azure AD application ID, the Azure AD application key, and the name of your Azure AD tenant. Once you have filled in all these details, we agree to the terms and conditions and we hit purchase. Great, so now that we have this, we click here, which takes us to the template. Great, so now that we have our deployment succeeded, we go to the resource group, and the first thing we do is we click on the web app bot. So in the web app bot, we see the messaging endpoint for the bot, which we would need to paste back into our Moodle plugin. So we copy it, we go back, and we go back here, we go to team settings. We scroll down and we paste the endpoint link out here. and we replace messages with the webhook and click on Save Changes. Once we have saved our changes, we go back to Team Settings. We scroll back down and we download the manifest file for our Teams app. So we click on Save As. Now that we have downloaded the manifest file for our Moodle Teams app, it's time to install it in Microsoft Teams.